Welcome to Faith in 5, a weekly video devotional designed to discuss practical spiritual concepts in 5 minutes or less. I'm your host, Mark Vandellen. Last summer, I was lucky enough to stumble into New York City on the same weekend as the Pride Parade. Now, most people would say that doesn't sound very lucky. It's packed with people. There were a ton of people there. A lot of people in the faith space would say, wait, what? But I had a chance to attend it. We seized the opportunity and we went, and it was an amazing experience. It was an amazing experience for a number of reasons. I got to experience people. I got to see people joyful and celebrating. And I got to see people who didn't know each other at all, hugging each other, showing each other value, telling them that they are loved. If I'm being honest, I cried a couple of times. I sent a whole bunch of text messages to my friends who had been told over and over and over that they didn't have value. And now before we get into a big, long theological discussion, because I know that some of us disagree, and that's okay, I can tell you I also had the same experience watching Dear White People. There's some really poignant things in there that caused me to cry, that caused me to send some messages to my friends, because my experience hasn't matched theirs, and because they have had difficulty, because based on their sexuality, because based on their skin color, because based on where they were born in a different country, because of the language they speak and the way they look, they have been told that they have less value. I just think that for far too long, people who call themselves Christians, people who claim to be carrying the message of Jesus, have intentionally and sometimes unintentionally told people that they didn't have value. Again, I'm not looking for a theological debate because I know that we don't all agree. There were people at the Pride Parade that didn't all agree theologically, where God is on all of this stuff. There are people that don't agree on immigration, politically and in religion. That's not the question of today. We are in our series called With. And today's title is With Them. And the word them has a lot of power and a lot of meaning. For some of us, when we think of them, it's, those are my people. I'm with them. But others of us have felt like we are not their people. The them is everybody who's not like me, who doesn't think like me, look like me, or believe like me. The marginalized. And the unique part about the Christian faith, the unique part about what Jesus did, if you break down all of the everything, all of the rules, all of the do this, don't do that of religion, and we just strip all of that away. I'm not saying ignore very important parts, but the overarching message that Jesus came here is to say, I love you. You have value. There is nothing that you have done, that you can do, or that you will do that will eliminate that value from my eyes. You are God's creation. You are God's kids. That is the message that we should consider carrying around when we think about them, the people that are not like me. And I would hope that the people who are not like me would extend the same to me. If they believe differently than me, if they have a little different religion, that they would extend the same grace to me. It's only fair. Matthew 5:13 through 16 talks a little bit about what it looks like to live this out. It says, you are here to be light, bringing out the God colors in the world. God is not a secret to be kept. We're going public with this, as public as a city on a hill. If I make you light bearers, you don't think I'm going to hide you under a bucket. I'm putting you on a light stand now that I've put you there on a hilltop. On a light stand, shine. Keep an open house. Be generous with your lives. By opening up to others, you'll prompt people to open up with God. The opposite approach taking a very heavy theological approach and trying to argue from the perspective of right and wrong is not the approach that the Bible seems to suggest, at least in this verse and in many others that Jesus teaches us. Invite people to know a relationally loving God. Tell people they have value. Show them that value. Because for far too long, people have known us by who's in and who's out. Willow Creek has developed a great leadership training facility. They have a great program called the Global Leadership Summit, and they have often said the local church is the hope of the world. There are often times that I don't think that us as representatives of the local church and representatives of God carry that message. The goal is that we would provide hope, value, and show love, and everything after that can be figured out and sorted out. But right now, the world needs us to be more advocates for people in this world, people who don't have a mouthpiece, people who don't have a privilege. If you really look at the stories in the Bible, that is the story. God came here to tell a different story, to play by a different set of rules, and he's asked each of us individually to do the same. A few series ago, Bob Goff, I referenced, he says that we need to talk with people, talk to people, not about them. If you have doubts, disagreements, get closer to it and ask questions. Go in with an open mind to show people God and invite them to know God, to open up with God so that they see a truly relationally loving